Hey grade 11s, I'm going to show you a little bit about queries, how to create them, and how to then add some criteria into the queries. And I want you to do this for me today, okay? So I've opened up the sports teams database. I'm going to make this available in your channel. And if you have a look at the sports teams database, we have got the data of participants who are taking part in a sports event somewhere. And we've got surnames, names, grade, class, what sport they're in, the team that they are in, and if they are going to be providing their own transport or if they need to use the school bus. So let's have a look and create a query. Now, when we create anything, we go to create, and here you can see queries, query wizard, and query design. We're going to go to query design, okay? Query design, there it is there. And I'm going to say the table, there's the table, data of participants, and I'm going to add it over there. Take that out the way, done. There's my table and all the fields. Awesome. Now, let's have a look here. Here you can see all the fields. So I'm going to do surname, and I'm going to double click, and it goes there. Or I can say name, and I can click, and I can drag, pop it over there. Or I can go over here, and I can also choose from here. Name, grade, and class. So let's do name, surname, name, and grade. And then let's do the sport that they play. Okay, so a query, when you query something, is when you ask information from a database. You ask and say, okay, please show me this specific information. So this is how it goes. I'm going to ask the database to show me the surname, name, grade, and sports at the moment of everyone. So let's have a look. I'm going to save the query, Control S. I don't want to call it query 1. I want to call it sports. And click OK. Done. So now you can see I have a new object here underneath queries. It says sports. And I go and I double click on sports and I run it, and there we go. Here my query is currently running. So I've got surname, name, grade, and sport. I don't see all the other stuff like the transport and what team they're in and all that. So there you can see I've got all of that there. Great. Perfect. Awesome. So let's say we wanted to make this a slightly more specific query. Switch to our design view. So in terms of sports, I actually just want to see the rugby players, no other sport, just the rugby as the sport. So have a look here. I've got all of these things, the field, the table, sort, show, criteria. Okay, this is my criteria row. And for each field, I can say, okay, for this field, I just want to look at this. So we're going to go to the sport field. There it is there. Go here to where it says criteria, and we're going to look up the word rugby because we just want to filter this according to rugby. So I'm going to type in the word rugby. There we go. And you'll notice that I put it into quotes, okay? Quotation marks, because it's text. Very important. Now, let's run this query. You can click on run or view. It's fine. Check it out. Now, I know it's working because if I look at sport, I can see it's got all just rugby. That's pretty cool. Nice. So far so good? Yes? Let's take it even further. Let's get even more specific. Switch back to design view. Over here in criteria, still in my criteria row, I'm going to go to grade, and let's say I want to do only the grade 11s. Only the grade 11s who play rugby. So I put in the number 11. Now, I don't have to use quotation marks this time. I can, I mean, it will still work, but I don't have to because 11 is a number. It's not text. So let's see. I've got grade 11 and they play rugby. So when you have criteria, okay, like this on the same row, 11 and rugby, it's and. Did you hear the and? So grade 11 and they play rugby. Grade 11 and they play rugby. Let's watch and see what happens. Run this. Grade 11s, all grade 11s, and rugby. All right, so that's important. What would happen if I took this 11 out of there and I put it on the next row of criteria, which is or. So let's see what it does. So now let's have a look. I'm asking the database, I'm giving it a query and saying, can you please show me the surname, the name, the grade 11s, and the sport is rugby, but that's 11 or rugby. So all of the rugby, including all of the 11s as well. This is going to look very different. Have a look. Right, do you notice I've got all the sport is rugby, okay, but I've got lots of other grades there as well. There are the grade 11s, but I've also got other sports as well. Do you see? Because it's doing one or the other, rugby or grade 11s. Okay, and that's showing me everything. And that's what the criteria row does. It's criteria. If it's in the same row, it's and, this and that. If it's in the one and the other row, it's or. So rugby or 11. Okay, so I want you guys now to go and create as many different kinds of queries as you can based on the table data. So do at least 3. If you can create 3 different queries, completely different, but showing me that you've used the and that you've also used or. Okay, that's your task for today.